aneurysm, bro. That nigga was like, I don't want anybody on this bus right now.
Hold up, I would've grown all day. Hold up, somebody can't relate. Hold up, stay down with no faking. Go up, top down, I've been racing. Go up.
Hey, what's up, my beautiful kings and queens? My name is Shyla.
And it's your boy, EK.
And we are coming to you guys today with another royalty review. This time is for the Netflix series Selena.
Selena?
Request. Somebody wrote in my comments and asked if I can do a reaction to Selena. I didn't say Selena this time, motherfucker. And this is our first time doing a entire series in one YouTube video.
One summarized episode.
Right, one summarized episode. And if you are new to the channel, please
go ahead, hit that like, hit that sub, and hit that notification bell.
Yes.
So today we're going to be reviewing the Selena series, but just episode 1 through 9, part 1, because that's all that they've released so far, which is just basically her life up to the release of Como Flor, basically.
Yes.
Which somebody was super impatient to get to. I just want Como Flor.
I did. I love that song, and that's on the biopic with J-Lo. So I was waiting on that song because I know that AB wrote that for her. Come to find out, AB wrote all of her music. So we are going to jump into that.
So maybe we should do like a character rundown, maybe.
Okay.
And we'll do like the character and the pros and cons of that character.
All right.
So we'll save Selena for the last because she's obviously the main character. So we know we'll talk about her. So who do you want to start off with? Let's start off with Abraham, the patriarch of the family.
Yes, the father who's holding everything together, who wants nothing but the best for his family. And he does a damn good job of ensuring that he is providing for his family, making sure his family is staying together.
Right. He's definitely driven by family values.
What's his name?
His name is Ricardo Antonio Chavira.
Yes.
And he is doing I think he's doing a really good job of just kind of like I said, giving that patriarch feel of the person who's the leader of the pack and who's like making sure that everything goes meticulously to plan. Even if the plan is mostly AB's, he's making sure that AB is in the right state of mind.
Right.
And that AB doesn't get too comfortable, like just kind of get complacent with his skill. He keeps on pushing AB and telling AB, you know, like, just because you did this doesn't mean that it's going to be cake from here. You're going to still have to work. You're still going to have to do that. He lets his kids and his family and everybody who's in his organization know that hard work and stuff comes first. And the reason why I really respect him is because on top of him letting people know that hard work comes first, he's not out there trying to block people's shine. He's not out there trying to make sure that Selena shines harder than everybody, or that anybody shines harder than her, or whatever the case may be. Like, he's really looking out for his whole unit.
Right,
like,
as a whole.
And one of the things that really drove that home was when Pete was talking about he was going to get his own solo deal.
Yes.
And he was like, bro, I don't have no ill will. You know,
that's what we're supposed to do.
Right, that's what I want us to do. We're all supposed to be the branch. You know, everybody's supposed to branch off of this success, you know, of the main person. And, you know, Pete was relieved to hear that too. And he was like, but what I won't do is tell AB for you, because he knew AB was going to be pissed. But, you know, I think that he's been a really good person. And like I said, he's not like beating his kids. He's not like doing Joe Jackson. He is kind of like overprotective and over controlling. I would definitely say that. But he's not like Ike and Joe as far as like how he's driving success. And what I like to see he always, as much as he has negative reinforcement, or as much as he feels like you feel like he's busting balls, he always has a positive reinforcement at some point in time. Even like when you feel like you're going to be at your lowest, and when you feel like he's going to say some classic Abraham shit to kind of bust your balls, he hits you with that positive reinforcement.
Right.
Like to keep you from your breaking point, but to let you know that, you know, you got to keep on going.
Right. Okay.
And the main person who he does that a lot to is AB, who we'll move into next.
Yes. He seemed to be on AB, which is the eldest brother of the three, Suzette and Selena. And come to find out, he is a producer, which I didn't really know he was a producer, or maybe I did know, but I didn't know that he produced all her music.
They didn't show in the movie how much of an integral role that AB played. From this show, AB did everything from casting every member of the band that was not a blood relative of Selena, to writing most of the big hits, to writing most of the small shits, to the piano playing, to just hiring people and knowing people in the community that he's going out to reach. Because none of these people are Abraham's friends or Abraham's kids or friends of the other Dinos, kids that joined these Los Dinos. It's just Abraham's people. Abraham's not linking any of these people together. All he did was spew out 3 kids via Marcella. And that was it.
Right.
And then he coached. He's coaching and shit. But
definitely,
AB was really the mastermind behind all this shit until Selena was able to get her own bearings and start writing her own songs type shit.
Right. And definitely, and you could tell he had a lot of control because, like he said, he was going out looking for the bass player, which is Chris, and he found the one with the hair. What was his name from Los Boys? Pete. Yeah. Pete. So he went out and he found everybody.
Fucking spooky.
Spooky, yes. And Abraham trusted AB to do his job. And AB did a damn good job, if I say so myself. He did a great job, even though Abraham was on his neck all the time. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, I feel that AB did a great job of picking everybody, every member of his band, down to, Chris. I don't know what else.
Yeah, it was like all hand-selected people by AB. Mm-hmm. It didn't show that AB was OCD, which comes into a large part of playing his arrangements and shit like that. A lot of good producers and a lot of people who have those arrangements like that and can cycle that shit are OCD in some sort of way. They're like good with patterns and having to keep that pattern and shit. So that was really important, and they never touched on that.
Right.
In the movie as well.
Right. They didn't. They not at all. Not at all in the biopic. Not at all. I think another spot where they dropped the ball on AB's character arc in the movie was they didn't show that he had kids at all. Yeah.
They didn't show that he had multiple kids, not just one. And it was from some roadie girl who was coming to his shows, but like they didn't show that Abraham brought 3 houses and they all lived next to each other and he had a kid and that he was like going home and coming back for 2. And as he's observing other people's relationships kind of breaking down or them going home for that or them not going home for that, he's observing this while he's having these issues of his own. And it doesn't like really delve into that. But I understand, like, the movie didn't have a lot of time. It was just Selena's movie that took place 2 or 3 years after she died, and so it was kind of rushed. And the movie was like 2 hours and some change.
It was 2 hours and 8 minutes.
So they didn't have a lot of time to throw a lot of shit in there like that.
Right. Even Suzette said in an interview on ET 101, she mentions you can't put your life in a 2-hour movie. You just can't. Mm-hmm. So
the actor who plays AB is Gabriel Chavarria. I don't know if I know him from anything else off the top of my head.
He was a really good actor. His demeanor, I kind of was like, at first too, because the AB in the Selena biopic is completely different from the AB that they portray in the series.
Right. He's much more lively.
But it shows his beginning, his humble beginning, him trying and him thinking. He said it took Come Off Floor 5 years to make. Mm-hmm. And I fucking love that song. That's my #1 favorite song by Selena. It took him 5 years to make that song.
That's crazy.
5. So
that's dedication. And he was working hard and shit. So we'll go into Suzette next, just because she's the next family member. And she's close to AB. Yes. I thought Noemi Gonzalez is doing a great job of portraying Suzette. It's nice to see more of their sister relationship that the movie didn't have time to delve into.
Not at all.
It was like skipping through their life so frequently.
Right.
But it's nice to see how close they were. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see that Selena was like, she wasn't like a bitch to her sister who was just the lowly drum player, if you will. Right. And Suzette, as her part in it too, wasn't jealous of Selena.
Not at all.
They both played a very integral role in each other's development into good musicians and having that steady foundation as a family. And I really respected that from the two of them.
Yes.
That they had that dynamic with each other and there wasn't no like weird shit.
Right.
Because it could get that way with females real quick.
Definitely. And
anybody, males, females, any group.
Right. And her being the main star, it was really easy to be jealous of your sister. You know,
for your whole life.
She's beautiful. She has a nice body. She's the lead singer. I mean, there's numerous of reasons to be jealous. And Susie didn't seem to be jealous at all in any kind of way. Not to mention Suzette, her actual sister. She is the executive producer of this series.
Facts.
So anybody who has anything to say about this series, just know that Suzette Quintanilla, I don't know her married last name, so we're gonna go Suzette Quintanilla. She is one of the executive producers of the show. So when the show goes off, her name is in the credits. So she has a lot to say in this series.
Right. It's a lot of her yeses and nos that had to be made. So, like I said, I really appreciate that part that it delves into that. And it shows that she was struggling as a musician. I don't know if it really got into that too much in the movie either. That she was struggling as a drummer at first, and she wasn't really getting it / didn't want to do it. And
there were no female drummers. In the biopic, when she's upset, have you ever seen any female drummers? No, she was the first female drummer, so she didn't want to do it, and I understand that. So.
Yeah. So she was like breaking barriers. I thought it was cool that it showed that moment where the girl was trying to go to the concert so bad. And then she finally gets up there, and we were all thinking that she's just trying to see Selena because Selena's in town. But she goes up there to shout out to me, Suzette, and prop her for being a girl drummer and tell her that she inspired her. I thought that was important,
definitely,
for the girl and for Suzette's character arc. Like, she was like, right,
somebody looks up to me, and she handed her drumsticks, which are very important. So I'm pretty sure those are something that she's going to keep forever and never play with.
Right,
as a collectible. So yeah.
So next, who we go to? I guess we'll go to moms next. How do you feel about moms?
Okay, so we all seen the biopic. Come to find out, Selena's mom in the series is her cousin in the biopic, which I had no clue. I watched another YouTuber, Pay or Wait is her name, and her channel's name, and she mentioned that YouTuber
Seidy López.
Yes, Seidy López is her name. So if you've seen the biopic with J-Lo, her friend that she goes to the mall with, or her cousin, whoever that girl is,
a girl with the big ass gums.
Yes, and the one who's trying on the dress when before the Grammys, that's her mom in the series. It like blew my mind. I was like, wait, oh my God, that's her. She looked familiar, but I didn't know who it was.
Yes, she did.
I didn't even think or care to Google.
Yeah, and the funny part is that we actually watched the movie right before we started watching the series. Yes. So we was right there for us to make the fucking link, and we didn't even make it.
No, we didn't. He had to have a refresher. Even though I've seen the movie 100 times, I know it word for word. He had to go back. I had to show him certain parts because he didn't remember, how mean Abraham was in that one, and who Chris was in that one, who we all fell in love with. But yeah,
Chris the rocker guy.
Yeah, so
Michelangelo Chris.
Yes.
So the mom in this movie, she's really a non-factor to me. Like, I feel like she played more of a role in the movie than she does in this movie. Mm-hmm. She's just really like the family's counselor, really. She just kind of like listens to everybody. She's just like smiles in the doorway all the time.
Right.
I guess she doesn't have any musical talent, so I can't really be too pressed that she's not physically doing anything.
Right.
But I just don't know. I just feel like she's like a light skin. She's like a light skin Viv, like, to me. She just doesn't like provide much character to the show overall. She's just kind of like there, like, okay, yeah, we know Selena had a mom, and we know she was there and around. So here's you.
Right. And that's exactly how I felt with the mom. I felt that she doesn't really put her foot down when necessary. She doesn't really help much. I mean, she's there to console her kids and be there for them. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the mom. I don't really have that strong connection. I feel more connected to Abraham than I do the mom.
Yeah, because Abraham has a lot of screen time. The mom, like I said, the mom only comes in when it's like some end of the day ass situation and somebody's coming in and she just has a foot on her, like a head on her shoulder.
Right. Okay.
So next we'll move into the love interest, Chris.
Yes, Chris.
So what do you think about this, Chris? Do you like this, Chris? Or do you not like this, Chris? Or do you like this Chris better?
Of course I love the biopic because that's what I grew up to. I love that Chris. I love that love that J-Lo and Chris have in that show. It's believable.
Seems authentic.
Yeah, you feel it. This Chris in the series, I can honestly say I didn't feel it as much. The love wasn't as strong between the both of them, not just on Chris's part, but on Selena's part too. Like, I don't feel it was as strong as the biopic.
Yeah, I can feel that. So I was talking to you maybe when we got about halfway through the series about if you think there's going to be any scenes that were crossover scenes that they covered in the movie that they'll also cover in here. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the few scenes that was a crossover scene was the moment where Abraham sees them giggly chew and shit on the bus. Mm-hmm. And he whips that motherfucker to the side like, everybody off the bus. So I do think that they nerfed that they nerfed Abraham when he got off the bus because he wasn't as mad as original Abraham.
Oh.
Original Abraham was about to fucking have an aneurysm, bro. That nigga was like, I don't want anybody on this bus right now. He just turned the fuck up. I was like, whoa.
10 real quick. No 1, 2, 3. It was 10.
Bro.
He was livid. If you watch the biopic, y'all know how mad Abraham was on that bus.
But in that same note, Chris from the biopic was way more aggressive in defending himself and professing his love. Chris on the show didn't say shit until he was out at the bus. He was like, hey man.
No, he didn't. That's
I love her.
No,
No, I'm talking about in the show.
Oh, okay,
I'm talking about the show. He didn't
right.
say shit until he was already off the bus.
Right.
And then he was like, hey man, I love her. And he was like, get this money. And he pulled off on his ass.
Right.
But in the other movie, he was like, he jumped in front of him and was like, oh, you know, he
Right.
raised his voice.
He
and
said,
got back.
he said that I'm not going anywhere. We're going to continue to see each other. I love her. I'm going to
Right.
marry her. So, yeah.
Right, he puffed his chest
that
up.
one was just so much
And then
better.
and then what's the real story? Let me know. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. Did he get left at the gas station like it said in the TV show? I mean, in the series? Or did he get a ride back to Corpus like it said in the movie?
No, he didn't. Because the dad said, he yelled at him. He said, you can ride with us back to Corpus Christi, whatever the hell this city is called. But after that, you're gone. And he said, I'll find my own way. And he storms off the bus.
Oh.
In the biopic. He storms off the bus. Yeah.
Anyways.
So he doesn't ride with them at all. When he gets kicked off that bus, he gets off that bus.
Okay.
So
I did appreciate them showing more of the forbidden portion of their love because it was like because in the movie it was like they were friends and they kind of felt the vibe and then they kind of went with it.
Right.
But in this it's more like they felt the vibe, they wanted to go with it, they didn't. They would come back and meet again and want to go with it, but not, and then they get caught. Like, so I appreciate that it shows more of the not even the cat and mouse, just the predicament that Abraham was putting these adults that can't have lives in. And mind you,
Right.
Selena's 20 at the time. Mind you, he didn't want AB. AB was afraid to tell him he had a family. And AB was like 23, 26, like somewhere between that age. And he was afraid to tell him that he was starting a family with this girl. And I don't know how old Suzette was in the scene where Bill has to call and get the permission, but she was an adult, well into an adulthood.
Right.
I mean, what I would consider an adult, anybody plus 20 years an adult.
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? So
yeah, definitely.
So we'll go ahead and move on. The only other person that's really of importance before we get into the main person of the show is Pete, who is played by Julio Macias, and that is Spooky from My Block. And I don't really know. Like, they give Pete this big role. I don't really know Pete in real life. I don't know what portion he played besides being her duet singer. I mean, like, he's like the second vocalist of the band.
Well, if you watch her old performances, he's in the videos. He's on stage.
He's the obvious mullet guy. But he's like dual. He's like second vocalist, basically.
I don't know what his role is exactly.
He sings the songs with her. I mean, he be singing and shit.
Yeah.
Is that Julio Macias singing like that? Does Spooky got those vocals, or is that somebody voicing over for Spooky?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is my thing. The last thing that I saw him when he was the fucking gangsterest dude of all time for most of the show until the end, and then now he's this singing ass dude with this mullet. So it's just really funny to see the character switch up. I appreciate the range of Julio Macias. That's funny. You didn't watch On My Block with Me and Tanaya, but it's a good show. It's a kid show for sure, but it was a good show. So, all right, the last before we get into Selena, we'll do Selena Jr. How did you feel about young Selena? And that is played by Madison Taylor Baez, which I found out right before we started streaming, is that she has a lot of voiceover. Does a lot of covers on YouTube. She's actually a real singer, so she probably sung her. I'm pretty sure she vocalized her portions of this episode.
Right. I feel that she played the part really well. To play a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid, she did a really good job. Especially since she used her voice. It was no lip singing.
Yeah, so. I thought she was cool. She looked like she was a cute kid. She was cool. She did what she had to do. I didn't appreciate during her time that how much they didn't really explain Papa Goyos to everybody.
Right.
It just came and went. I felt like they were just at. I just felt like it was a restaurant that was like in the hood, like, oh hey, this is the restaurant that's right around here. They got a little stage, you can go bus over here.
That's why we went back and watched the biopic, just because of the Papagayos part of the movie that's important, that lets you know about their family and what happens
his
to them.
financial situation,
right?
That he had a job,
right?
And
a good
that
job
to run this restaurant because it was doing well, and then financial things went under with the Reaganomics and shit like that, and then he lost that, and then like he put all his wishes and hopes and dreams on the back of Selena, and Selena was like,
yes,
and she just lifted that shit. So now, what everybody's been waiting for is Christian Serratos, her depiction of Selena. How do you feel?
It's definitely different from the biopic. Definitely different. I feel that she's doing a good job as far as portraying Selena. There is, I don't really know who Selena is except for the J-Lo movie. So I can't say she needs to do a better job here, or, you know, she's doing too much, or because I don't really know Selena.
Right, we were 5 when she died.
Right, we were babies when she passed in real life, unfortunately. And all we have is the movie to go off of, which I know that her family, they like the movie, but they don't love the movie, just because you can't put too much in a 2-hour movie. So
right.
I don't, as far as I know, I feel that she's doing a good job.
Yeah, I feel like she's doing a great job. We were really excited to see Christian do this because we were big fans of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And she plays Rosita in that show. And just to see her,
and she'd be kicking ass,
be in a different environment, in a role of where she can be happy and do different things, it was nice to see, because she's so like angry about the situation that she's in.
She
and
never smiles.
Her life situation and The Walking
makeup.
Dead. So we were just excited for her. But everybody on the internet apparently wants to shit on her. But it's no reason. This girl, Christian Serratos is a beautiful girl.
Right.
She was always I thought one of the baddest girls that played on The Walking Dead in the first place. Mm-hmm. And everybody be trying to talk shit about her because she doesn't have fucking Serena's ass or J-Lo's ass. But it's not really that serious. And we're talking about, in the beginning of the show, she's in high school, and to where she is right now, I don't even know if she's 20 yet in the show yet.
Yeah,
because she dies while she's 23, and Como Flor comes, she's not married to Chris yet, I don't think, yet in the show. So she marries him 3 years before so I don't think she's 20 yet. She's probably like 20 or turning 20. So, you know, it doesn't even matter. She's a young girl. Like, I think she's doing a really good job. She's capturing her bubbliness. She's killing the outfits and shit like that on the stages and shit like that.
It definitely shows the side of Selena that the movie didn't show, as far as her. It showed her design her outfits, but not her make the outfits. Right. And that shows that plays a big part, because that's putting your heart and soul into something. Right.
She had a big major part, and how artists is seen on stage is really big to their image and shit like that. So for her to be in 100% control of that it says a whole nother thing about her level of artistry, her creativity, and things like that the biopic maybe didn't have time to illustrate. Right. Because it was like, okay, yeah, well, I'm just, making this up. But you can make the thing up and pay somebody else to do it. But when you're the one that's personally cutting and sewing and buying the shit and going to the store, that's a whole different beast. Like, so I'm supposed to be learning these songs, doing these dances, singing these things, doing these rehearsals, making these clothes. Like, her time was spread thin, but she had that family unit, and she was really a humble person, and I really respect that about her. Like, she was super humble. That was really cool. Yeah, to see like how much she was invested into the family thing, and she didn't think it was bigger than her, and she was always grateful for her opportunity to be where she was and to be doing what she was doing.
Most definitely. And she was just beautiful inside and out, and just from the clothes she wore to her attitude. So I really love that, and I feel that Christian
Serratos
is doing a good job playing Selena. She's done interviews saying how happy she is that she's got the opportunity to play Selena. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love to play Selena.
Right,
so, she has this opportunity.
And be able to put on for the culture and represent Selena to the new generation, because like she said, I came from the Midwest, so I definitely didn't know who Selena was until I moved out here when I was like 7, 8-ish. And then she had passed away, and I was hearing about who she was through other people's love for her, through the Mexican community and the Hispanic community that lives out here in Arizona. And that's when I felt like her impact and how much she meant to everybody, and like then you hear her music and everything, and it's like, yeah, no, this should go. So,
and it's a tragic what happened, but you know, it's gonna be a part 2 to Netflix,
right? And we'll definitely be back to review that part with you. Let us know what your favorite part was. Yes. Let us know if we have any details or anything that we skimmed over or anything that we messed up or got misconstrued. Because sometimes we do that. We fuck up sometimes.
Right. And we wanted to watch it slowly and enjoy it and not have to speed through it just to do a review. So this is coming a few days after. But still like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. And for us, always, y'all stay royal.
Have a good night.